So I've developed a lot of information within the last couple days of the uprisings. So I want to give you folks some of the information that I've gotten. So that way you folks are up to date. So the first thing I want to show you is this message from Brooklyn Antifa, which is a pretty important message that essentially when you're out and about, you shouldn't be taking pictures of people's faces. And that's really important because if you are taking pictures of people's faces, you could be potentially doxing people. And that could be putting people's lives at risk. And if you're streaming, that means the police could be watching your streams. And that's very important. And that goes for people like Unicorn Riot. Unicorn Riot is a very important independent news network, sure, but that doesn't mean that, they're off the hook either. Now, I just want to give a reminder about what this uprising is about. This uprising is about not just a police officer who literally curb stomped a black man for literally 8 minutes straight. This is an abuse of power. It is an abuse of power. It is a monopoly of power. But not only that, it is a consistency of police officers killing black people for the past several generations, with Philando Castile, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, you name it. I think honestly, this lady right here, she says it best.
There is blood on these streets, sir. Why are we going to continue being peaceful when they are killing my brothers and sisters? We are being peaceful. We are on the grass. Why are they here? It is because of them why we're here, so why the fuck are they here, sir? I'm tired of being peaceful. We on the grass. I have lost 3 brothers to this, sir. 3! This is not all right. I'm hurt. You don't see my eyes. I'm hurt. My people out here hurt. I'm tired of this. I'm not sitting down. If I gotta die behind my color, I'm gonna die about it. My kids after me, they gonna walk these streets crazy, just like everybody else can walk these streets crazy. I'm not standing down. I'm black and I'm proud and I'm strong. Together we are strong. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No racism.
Police.
No justice.
No peace.
So a lot of people were wondering if this picture right here, the picture of the guy burning down the AutoZone building, was real. And it is real, but is the person burning down the AutoZone building a real protester? And this is interesting because he's a police officer. His name is Jacob Peterson. And here is literally the text message to prove it, that he was literally looking for the AutoZone. So if you hear about any AutoZone burning down on Fox News or anything like that, be sure to debunk that with your family members. Wink, wink. So at one point, the Minnesota Police Department has, if at some point, abandoned the 3rd precinct, and then the people just broke in and destroyed and set fire to light up the multiple rooms. And that was pretty cool, to be honest with you. Also, don't go inside of a burning building. But then the Nazis started coming through into Minneapolis, and they started to have each other back, and there was a warning for everyone to be safe. There were several warnings of multiple white people with arms and weapons, and they were essentially coming towards Minneapolis. in Twin City. There was state patrol on 4th and Nicollet. And then here's a piece of footage of police officers shooting live rounds at peaceful protesters, since the Kent State riot in Louisville. And then the same thing happens in Louisville, again.
I couldn't get it to flip.
But whoever's in that car next to him freaking
Yeah. Yeah, they're not playing right now. They're not playing right now, man.
I got a close up to some of them cops in the right here. It looks on their faces like I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Fresh out of the academy, look what I'm out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fucking 25,000 a year.
They really turned this ambulance up. They're destroying it. Yeah, the first ones were 100%.
You guys good?
And here's some more tear gas from, the police. And the National Guards came in,
Oh, shit.
And then after the National Guards came in, the police just started retreating because the police are cowards and they'd rather have the National Guards come in and just take care of it. So much for Blue Lives Matter, so much for Thin Blue Line. And then after that happened, this big fucking explosion happened.
Wash it off, so it don't even Oh, shit. Jesus! Lord, Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus! Jesus! Oh, Lord Jesus! Lord Jesus! Oh, shit! Whoa! That was awesome! That was awesome right there! God damn! Wow! Shit! Oh, shit! Oh, Lord Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Get the water, nigga! Jesus Christ! Lord have mercy! Get the water, nigga! It's going down! Ah, the motherfucking bootleg fireworks shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
It's probably fake. Like, look at this photo. Like, oh my god. Like, okay, seriously. Like, seriously, look at this photo. Like, this is Precinct 3. But okay, seriously, check out this news footage of this MSNBC coverage. It's really eye-opening of the relationship between the officer and George Floyd.
I think it's really interesting that right across the street from where Allie is standing is a restaurant called El Nuevo Rodeo. George Floyd worked at that restaurant. So did Officer Chauvin. They were both bouncers at that restaurant for 17 years. So Officer Chauvin, he knew George. They were co-workers for a very long time.
And now check this out. Check out this cop infiltrating a library.
Go be a fucking cop. You're sucking cock.
And then police scanner reported 5 white males in a black sedan with an AR-15 towards the protest. And they warned them to get out now. So it was getting pretty dire at that situation. And then here's a police officer just making an assault on a protester. So check out this. Do not attend the protests in Dallas, Phoenix, or San Diego. They're organized by either white supremacists or police officers, and they are traps. Makes sense. Stay out of there. So let's take a look at the tweet that Donald Trump, bestowed us all upon last night. These thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd. Let's take a look at that for a second. Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about George Floyd. He doesn't give a flying fuck about George Floyd. Doesn't give a fuck about black people whatsoever. Anyway, let's continue with the tweet. And I won't let that happen. I just spoke with Governor Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty, and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Thank you. Remember that this is all about killing, black people for the sake of, killing black people. The police literally have been trying to kill black people since the days that since its inception. They were originally called slave catchers, and they have been wanting to kill black people since the Black Reconstruction. And so we need to remember that when we say these people's names, like Philando Castile and Michael Brown and Eric Garner, and now we have George Floyd. We need to remember that these people are important to remember by. These people are powerful. These people are very powerful. So, okay, we need to remember the lessons that we learned in this video. So, first things first, I would advise, don't use milk for your pepper spray. I would advise maybe using water, because milk, has fats, and the fats could, essentially, spread the pepper spray through your eyes. So, don't do that, just use water. Secondly, don't wear jewelry like this at a protest, because that will basically heat when tear gas is, being used on you. Also, dress appropriately. Wear as much black bloc as possible. Have a buddy system if you can. Definitely go with someone, more than one person, if you can. Don't go alone. If you see someone doing something suspicious, for example, if you see someone doing something out of order, breaking into a library or a government system, like that, don't go in there too. Or a hospital, or a high school, don't do it too. Just because it's edgy doesn't mean it's a good idea. But, if you're thinking about, what's a good idea for what to infiltrate or what to expropriate, try to think of, I'm not trying to advocate for anything here, but try to think of what exactly you should, expropriate, right? What is being gentrified in the neighborhood, for example, is this business in particular, harming this low-income neighborhood? Is this police station, exploiting this low-income neighborhood? Think like that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you how to think. Use your mind that way. Just planting some seeds into your brain. That's all I'm saying. Again, not advocating for anything. I'm just feeding some ideas. Have a first aid kit if you can. Just have a backpack and bring lots of water. And remember to steer clear of the police at all costs. Oh yes, and one more thing. Donate to all of the causes that I have in the description. I'm going to list them right here, and I'm going to put them in the description. Please donate to them. Thank you. Until next time.
Oh, it only took 3/4 of the city burning for you to become obvious to you. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, who the hell is this guy?
The mayor.